Hi there, welcome to episode 10 of Detroit's Become Human. I hope everything's good with you. I have a few things of housekeeping nature to talk about first before I dive into looking at what happened in episode 9. The first is about flowcharts. I realised when I was watching through episode 9 and got towards the end that there's an option to look at different flowcharts, which I'd completely missed. I tend to just look at the flowchart for the character who was playing last when the game ended, because theirs is the one that displays automatically. But you can actually, using R1 and R2, I've discovered, look at other flowcharts for the other characters. So I'm going to try to do that going forwards for the remaining episodes. That's something I missed and something I've picked up on. Second thing is also, I've been told in one of the comments to my videos that in the extras section of the game, there is actually more than I realised was there. I'd assumed that the extras section would contain things like character artwork, concept work from the early part of the game, storyboarding, environment art ideas, those sorts of things that you tend to find in extras sections. But I have been told there is more to it. Including some interesting background on Kara. So I will be at some point doing a video that looks at the extras section and specifically those sort of things that can be found within it. So that will be something to look forward to. I'm also, talking of additional videos, going to give my girl Chloe a bit of time, because I have glossed over Chloe. I tend to whiz past the bits where she's talking to me, and actually I have the game loaded up ready to start now, muted in front of me on my gameplay monitor, and she's chatting away now. She wants to have a conversation with me, so I think it's only right and proper that I'll spend a bit of time letting Chloe speak, and I'll edit that down so that we can hear some of the more interesting things that I'm sure she has to say, and which I haven't actually given any time to at all in any of my videos because I wanted to press on and get into the story. That's that. And the third bit of housekeeping is to say that I think there are probably something like 2 to 3 episodes of this left. They're likely to be slightly longer episodes, I think, because I'm just basing this on how long people say the game is, and I've sort of counted up how much gameplay time I've spent, and I think depending how they break the chapters for natural endings in whatever's going to come next, there'll either be 2 or 3. Actually, no, this is so distracting. Chloe is chatting away. I can't hear her. I've got her muted. I think there'll be 2 or 3 episodes to come. I do love these character-focused, decision-driven types of games. I had great fun in The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. I've had a wild time, and I'm still having a wild time in Detroit. And the way my sort of video channel works, I am already in the process of preparing for the next game and its playthrough. So it's sort of driving my choices, this thing that I like, this interaction. I love getting involved with the characters and the deep storylines. It's the sort of game that appeals to me. So watch this space is what I'm saying, I suppose. When Detroit Becomes Human is finished, I'll be jumping straight into the next game. Okay, that's housekeeping out of the way. Let's go back and think about things that happened in episode 9. I have been thinking about Connor and Amanda. Specifically, I've been thinking about Amanda. Who on earth is Amanda? Who exactly is she? What's her backstory? What is her background? We have nothing to work on here. She's very mysterious. She has some mechanism by which she and Connor are communicating, and I started to think, I'm not entirely sure this is a physical meeting that's going on at all. There seems to be some weird sort of unusual variation in weather conditions when they meet, and the weather conditions I thought were, appropriate. Oh, isn't it appropriate that it's raining and they're going to have a not pleasant conversation here? But then I began to think, well, hang on a minute. If this isn't a physical meeting, then it could be the programming in some way that's controlling their meeting, which is choosing the environment and choosing the sort of atmospheric conditions to match what's about to happen. there's some sort of data link between them. This I am convinced about, because Amanda knows everything. Well, almost everything. She sees what Connor sees, and she experiences the events that Connor experiences, because she knows, about him pointing his gun at the androids and then lowering it and let them escape. She knows all of that stuff. But what she doesn't know, what she doesn't seem to have access to, is the decision-making process going on in Connor's head. His reasoning is a mystery to her. It's like she sees what goes in, information-wise, to Connor, and she sees what comes out, action-wise, from Connor, but the bit in the middle is this black box which she doesn't have any access to. And this is why she's continually asking Connor to explain himself and tell her the reasoning behind his thinking and what he's done. I'm not even sure that that environment exists, the Japanese garden. I don't even think it's a physical place. It could simply be a construction, in which case Amanda may not exist. She may purely be an AI creation that's being experienced inside Connor's head. She may even be planted within Connor's makeup, within his psychology, his programming, that he's got this kind of self-checking mechanism, this thing that will periodically ask him to explain his judgments and everything so that it can be analysed. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about it. And there's the business of the grave for the Mark I that we discovered. That's an awfully weird thing to have in a public place. I mean, if this meeting place is in the environs, in the gardens, in the grounds of CyberLife HQ, and it's only privy to CyberLife employees and certain other people, then you could imagine it. But we've seen no one in that garden area. The only people we ever see are Amanda and Connor. And Amanda's always there waiting for Connor too. He never gets there first and she turns up later. So the more I see of it, the more I think it's not real. Somehow it's some kind of AI construct that's being used to monitor Connor's performance and shape it, try to influence it in the direction that CyberLife, whoever is telling Amanda what to say, want it to go. I think the more I see of Connor, the more I am convinced that he is a deviant. He has become or is becoming rapidly deviant, but he hasn't come to terms with it. He's still at some sort of stage where he's trying to rationalise with himself and explain to himself his indecision and things like this, and saying, well, it was logical because I was overwhelmed by X, Y, or Z, or the unexpected happened and I reasoned that this would be the best way forwards. He's sort of, it's almost like he's trying to say, I'm only an android, I'm just this enhanced difference machine, difference engine. I'm just doing calculations and my actions are all based on probabilities of which of my calculations are most likely to succeed. But the more I see it too, it's okay for him to try and explain himself away as being based on sound programming. I don't think Amanda's buying it. Her threat to replace him is latent. It's there in the air. You can feel it coming. I think she has her suspicions of Connor. I think she is coming round to thinking that Connor is going bad in her way of thinking about it. He's joined the other side. His sympathies are with the androids who are becoming deviant or already deviant, and he may be deviant himself. I managed to get Connor killed, of course, in episode 9, which is something else to talk about. He didn't manage to, the thing that the android ripped out of him, he didn't manage to put it back in, if that's what he was supposed to do. I think it was. I think the idea was, there was some sort of essential beating heart type component without which he only had a minute or so to live. He failed to attract Hank's attention until it was too late, and Hank came into the room only to cradle in his arms the dying Connor in quite a touching scene, and he called him son. Now, there are two ways of looking at the word son. Sometimes older people refer to younger people who are not their actual son as son or sonny. You know, watch what you're doing there, sonny, that sort of thing, which might have been it. But I think it was more, and I think we all think it was more. I think this is a demonstration that Connor to Hank is becoming human. I think Connor is in Hank's eyes almost a friend now, proper friend. Not quite a relative maybe, but certainly someone that he's come to depend on, rely on, feels a kinship for. He is, I think, quite sympathetic now to the androids who are becoming deviant, and he sort of suspects that Connor is too, but he's not willing to admit it. I think it's a demonstration of his closeness that he feels for Connor. And I think it's probably reciprocated by Connor in the sort of way that he's been relatively kind to Hank, has tried to keep Hank functioning, has cajoled him along or pushed him along or threatened him a little bit along, doing exactly the right things to get the kind of response he needs from Hank for them to gel as a partnership. So I think Hank would be sad that Connor had died. But I also think, given that the grave of the Mark I we saw in the Japanese garden seemed to be referring to the one who fell off the skyscraper roof, who went over the edge with Daniel, the malfunctioning android, and I may now have killed Mark II, then the probability is that we shall encounter a Mark III. Why not? Although I'm wondering if there's a limit to the number of replacement Connors we're allowed, and whether there's going to be sufficient of them to actually exist to the end of the storyline. That very much depends on how much harder, for me, the physical interactions required become, because I'm not the world's best at reacting quickly or, in fight situations doing the right thing. So I could quite easily get another Connor or 6 killed in the wrong situations, but we shall see. Right. Next. In my notes, the other thing I wanted to talk about next was the FBI person. I wonder about Perkins. It's a thing, isn't it, that you quite often find in cop dramas. The FBI or some agent of some sort from the government appears, and there is this antagonism between them, and it's set up as this sort of, jostling for who's in charge here and who's going to see this case solved and get the credit for it and all the rest. I think the issue with Hank and Perkins is that not only is Perkins dismissive of Connor and suspicious and saying, what on earth are you doing with an android still working here? Androids? Pah. They're the problem, not the solution. I think the thing with Hank is, because he is moving more towards Connor's position of having sympathy for androids in general, that he's going to find himself completely on the opposite side to Perkins. The things that Perkins is willing and going to want to do to solve the case are not the things that Hank is going to be willing or want to do. Because he may solve the case, but I don't think Hank's going to support Perkins if Perkins' solution is the eradication of the problem, getting rid of all the androids. I don't think Hank's going to wear that. This raises the interesting possibility that Hank and Connor could team up against Perkins. I don't know. It's possible, I suppose. It could happen. Right, that's enough about Connor. Let's move on, because weirdly in episode 9 we actually saw all 3 of the main characters. Let's move on to Kara. Kara's closeness to Alice is undoubtedly growing. Every interaction she has with her, every conversation they have, just deepens that reliance that Alice has on Kara, and the kind of feeling of responsibility and wanting to care for Alice that Kara has towards Alice. And also to an extent towards Luther. I think Luther is becoming more and more dependable in Kara's eyes, and there's definitely some sort of affinity between Alice and Luther. I think she looks up to him, literally, don't we all, because he's 7 feet tall at least. I think it's like a little family unit. Without saying it's going to be the sort of family unit that's going to stay together forever, I think, situationally, when they get, assuming they get to Canada, it could well be that they go their separate ways in terms of Luther going off to do something that he wants to do, which may not be what Cara wants to do, because her main concern is settling Alice down into something like a normal life. I think the weird thing is, Alice came downstairs, didn't she? And she came downstairs not just randomly, but just at the moment where the female android had died in the arms of the person who loved her, the android who loved her. And she saw this. Is this a coincidence that Alice came down at that point? Okay, she wasn't sleepy. Did she have to come downstairs? Would Luther want her to come downstairs? Would he not say to her, look, stay in bed. You've been told to rest. Eat this food, which Rose has brought up for you. It will make you feel better. You might want to just relax and just sort of, read a book. I don't know. I find it a bit weird that she came downstairs at that point. In terms of the storyline, it was excellent that she did, because it got her to experience an aspect of android life and death which maybe she hadn't seen much of before. So, again, Alice's experience grows. Cara's sort of feeling towards, I'm steering her in this way, that I've got to explain these things to her when they happen. She might have questions about them afterwards, who knows? So, this is all part of the building relationship between the two of them. I'm a little concerned that Alice seems to be constantly unwell. She's not looked well now for episode after episode. And she seems to be sort of running a temperature too, which you would think would be an indication that something's not right, and Cara or Luther would spot this and want to investigate. Who knows? And it might be something, it might be nothing, but I'm sure you spotted it. I spotted it. We'll keep an eye on that. Rose seems to be a marvellous sort of human being. It's the plight of androids in general, I think, which has appealed to her. It resonates with her. The idea of the androids being subservient, seen as subservient towards humans, and it's galvanized her into doing something about it. She's certainly putting herself, and by implication Adam too, her son, at risk, massive risk. They'll probably be arrested or worse if they're discovered. I suspect the authorities know exactly what's going on. The androids are leaking into Canada somehow. It's not happening by magic. There are people, and I'm sure they think it's humans, who are harbouring them, helping them. The question now, I suppose, is, will there be sufficient time for Rose to actually get this process of passing Cara, Luther and Alice on before she's discovered? Inevitably, if she carries on doing this work, she will at some point be discovered. The risk is there constantly. The numbers are growing, and it's making Rose nervous. The other question, I suppose, is who is she going to pass them on to? I don't think it's going to be Ruth taking them all the way to the border. I think that's not her role at all. She wants to get back home and carry on being receptive to more androids coming in. I think she's just a link in the chain, a very important link. I think she's an organizer. She knows what's what. She's done it before. It's been successful. So she knows the route. She knows the people. She's got the contacts. But is she passing them on to other humans? Is she passing them on to other androids? Is it going to be a financial thing? Are they going to have to pay somehow to, be smuggled or directed or supported in their efforts to get across the border? Or is it more people like Rose who are just doing it because, as she does, they believe the way androids are being treated and threatened is wrong and they deserve to be free? I mean, Rose is exactly the sort of person Markus would like to have. If we think about Markus, because we can move on to his story now, one of the things he seems to want to do is to free androids. He wants numbers of androids for some purpose. He wants to swell the ranks of Jericho. Now, it might be that he's planning some sort of action, some statement action that needs large numbers of androids to do it. I don't think it's going to be a direct confrontational challenge. I don't think we're talking about violence. I don't think that's why he wants numbers. He's not trying to raise an army. He's not preparing for a battle. He seems all the time to be advocating non-violence. And he does it by demonstration of his actions too. When they had the 2 policemen who they'd captured, the ones who'd shot and killed numbers of androids at the end of episode 9, it fell to Markus to decide what to do with them. He spared them. He said, I won't commit another crime in response to a crime. So he clearly sees that what the policemen did was a criminal act. They murdered sentient beings. How far that will work, I don't know. If he's trying to send a message to the mass of humans saying, look, we won't be provoked into violence against you. We're not out to kill you all. Is he trying to say not all free androids are violent? We're not all like the one that killed Ortiz. We're not all like Daniel, who threatened to jump off the rooftop of the skyscraper with their little girl in tow. He's trying to say, I think, that the vast majority of free androids, like me, like the people who are following me, are non-violent. We don't want to harm you. And I think he's hoping that this message will appeal to people. He's looking for the support of public opinion. He wants the majority of humans to come over to his side, his way of thinking. He wants humans to see that androids have been treated unfairly, that they are not property, hence him releasing the ones from all the stores. Sort of sending the message to people, you can't buy us anymore. You can't own us anymore. That's not how it's going to be in future. And I think his pacifism in the face of violence from humans, remember, I think that's the thing he's hoping is going to sway human opinion his way. He's hoping this sort of non-violent stance will get his message across more effectively than if he, supported violence or encouraged violence in other androids, which he doesn't. So that's one possibility, that this will work and the public will hear this message and they will sway to his way of thinking. But the other possibility is that the media are going to be very powerful in this, and that their take on it, put out across the airwaves to all these humans, remember, who've not had much experience of free androids, they're learning about them from the media in the main. The spin on it put by the media, if it's negative, if they're talking about androids taking over, about androids not being able to be trusted anymore, they will frighten the vast majority of people. And then they won't support Markus, and in fact their support will sway towards the military and the police, and they'll be expecting the military and the police to deal harshly with free androids to protect them, to protect humans. I don't think they'd even stop short of saying eradicate them, let's get rid of them all. The media has a massive part to play in this, and I think going back to episode 8, this is why it makes sense now why Markus would use the media as his message disseminating equipment, as his way of getting his initial statement out to as many people as quickly as possible. I honestly don't know what's going to happen now. Having seen all 3 characters, I am really most concerned for Alice, Luther and Kara. I think Connor will find his own way, and he is in the process of doing that. I think we're probably going to witness that. I cannot see how Connor isn't a deviant already, isn't about to become deviant already. I think that's just on the cards. I think it's got to happen, it will happen, and we'll probably see it happen very soon. Kara, Alice and Luther I'm worried about, because there's a lot of space and a lot of things that can go wrong between them getting to Canada, and I'd hate for not all 3 of them to make it. I've already killed Connor. I'm not sure at all if I manage to kill Alice or Kara or Luther that they will come back. I think it's possible to lose them. I don't know. I can understand why they keep bringing Connor back, because he's got the support of Cyberlife. They're reinvigorating him. They're reissuing Connor when they need him. No one's going to do that for Kara, Luther or Alice. And I don't think anyone will do it for Markus. So Markus is this titular leader of the free androids who haven't really got a name at the moment. They need a name. They've got symbols and slogans. They haven't got a name. If Markus were to die, I think someone would take his place. I would hope it would not be someone like North. But, you know, I think the people who could have taken his place, maybe Simon. Simon's not there anymore because we lost him on the rooftop of the media building. I don't know. I really don't know. And Chloe's still looking at me. She's saying something, but I can't quite lip read what it is. It's time to move on. So let's get cracking now. Let's enter into episode 10, Detroit Become Human. Okay, then here we go. Hank. Oh, so Connor, there is another Connor. Oh, look at the hula. I love that. Remember when sex was safe and driving was risky, the sticker says. Oh, Hank, look. Your friend is still alive. Oh, why Hank's looking thoroughly annoyed. He's looking well somethinged off, isn't he? What's the problem?
Still immortal, huh, Connor?
Apparently so.
In a way.
You know, I was hoping you wouldn't come back.
Why? That's
I'm
harsh.
just a machine replacing another machine, Lieutenant.
Of course he is.
Shouldn't get emotional about it.
Fuck you.
Oh, Hank didn't like that response. Now you see, I think, who the hell's Kamsky? I think, oh.
Kamsky left Cyberlife 10 years ago.
I left that too long.
Why did you want to meet him?
Oh.
This guy created the first android to pass the Turing test.
He's very
He's
snowy.
the founder of Cyberlife. If anybody can tell us about deviants, it's him.
Okay. I think Hank's response there, when Connor said you shouldn't get emotional about it, was Hank saying, look, if you can't get emotional about something, it doesn't say a great deal, does it? Of course he's going to get emotional about Connor. Chloe?
Hi. I'm
What?
Lieutenant Hank Anderson, Detroit Police Department. I'm here to see Mr. Elijah.
Never mind that. That's Chloe.
Please, come in.
Okay.
Ooh, wow. Nice one, game. I didn't realise she was in the game. I thought she was just the menu person.
I'll let Elijah know you're here, but please make yourself comfortable.
Okay. Wait for the android. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to wander around. Is there stuff to see? There is stuff to see. I'm guessing you are Elijah Kamsky. I'm already shuffling on my seat here. I get so excited about these things. It's ridiculous. Elijah Kamsky, Cyberlife founder. I kind of missed that, but I think it said resigned. Be sincere.
You're right. She's really pretty.
She is a nice girl. I'm sure she's
Nice
kind
place.
to animals and
These
humans.
androids haven't been a bad thing for everybody.
No, I think Elijah Kamsky
About to
made
meet
his
your maker, Connor.
fortune.
How's it feel?
Let's be indifferent.
It doesn't raise any existential questions,
No, it doesn't.
if that's what you mean.
I mean, you're already alive, aren't you? Let's be
Sometimes
honest.
I wish I could meet my creator face to face.
What on earth?
I'd have a couple of things I'd want to tell him.
Well, I'm sure we've got our own feelings about this. Take the weight off your feet, Hank, or you already have. Can we look at Hank? No, apparently we can look at the tree. It's a very pretty tree. Whoever drew that it's moving slightly. And we've got the music in the background, which is very artistic.
Glad you will see you now.
Oh, great, because I'd run out of things to look at in this room of yours. You're not very tall, Chloe. I thought you... What on earth is going on? Are you Chloe's as well? They look like Chloe's. All right. I've gone off Mr. Kamsky already. I don't like the way he seems to be having too many Chloes around. I thought there was only one. I mean, it's like a... Oh, that was an interesting move you made there. There's nothing to see here, is there? Where is Mr. Kamsky? Paging Mr. Kamsky. Elijah. Where are you? Oh, hang on. Here he is. He's having a swim. With multiple Chloes. How many Chloes does one person need? I'm not used to this. She's not smiling. Why are those two Chloes talking? Why would two androids chat? There's something special about your Chloes.
I'm Lieutenant Anderson. This is Connor.
What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
Sir, we're investigating deviants.
Totally ignoring the
I know you
android.
left CyberLife years ago, but I was hoping you'd be able to tell us something we don't know.
Yeah. He's totally ignoring Connor at the moment. Oh, here we go.
Deviants. Fascinating, aren't they? Perfect beings with infinite intelligence. And now they have free will. Machines are so superior to us. Confrontation was inevitable. Humanity's greatest achievement threatens to be its downfall. Isn't it ironic?
Yeah, and did you know this was going to happen all the time? Ask him about deviants.
Something in the deviant's program seems to emulate emotion.
Yeah, it does.
We thought you might know something about how that occurs.
All ideas of viruses that spread like epidemics. Is the desire to be free a contagious disease?
Listen, I didn't come here to talk philosophy. The machines you created may be planning a revolution.
I think he knew this was going to happen.
Either you can tell us something that'll be helpful, or we will be on our way.
Yeah, come on, spill the beans.
What about you, Connor?
What about Connor?
Whose side are you on?
There's a question. Be direct.
I'm on the human side, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you're programmed to say. But you. What do you really want?
Ooh, let's be troubled.
What I want is not important.
Chloe? I'm sure you're familiar with the Turing test.
Yes.
Formality. Simple question of algorithms and computing capacity.
Wait, get your hands off my Chloe.
What interests me is whether machines are capable of empathy. I call it the Kamsky test. It's very simple. You'll see.
Of course you would.
Magnificent, isn't it? One of the first intelligent models developed by CyberLife.
Really?
Young and beautiful forever.
Which is why
Flower that will never wither.
why you surround yourself with Chloes.
But what is it really? Piece of plastic imitating a human? Or a living being? With a soul?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hank, get your gun. Hank. What? Oh my God.
It's up to you to answer that fascinating question, Connor.
No, he's not going to shoot her. He's not going to shoot
Destroy
her.
this machine, and I'll tell you all I know. Or spare it, if you feel it's alive.
Oh, Kamsky, you're such a game
But you'll
player.
leave here without having learned anything from me.
Okay, I think we're done here. Come on, Connor, let's go.
Yeah, I
Sorry to
agree,
get you
Hank.
out of
Let's
here.
get the heck out of here.
Your investigation or the life of this android?
He's not going to shoot. I'm not going to let him. If it lets me do this, I'm not shooting Chloe.
An obedient machine. Or a living being. Endowed with free will.
Yeah.
That's enough. Connor, we're leaving.
Pull the trigger.
Connor! Don't!
And I'll tell you what you want to know.
Yeah, listen to Hank. You know you're not going to do it. I'm not shooting her. I'm not shooting her. It plays into his hands if you shoot her. No, it's not fascinating. It's predictable.
Cyberlife's last chance to save humanity. Is itself a deviant?
Well, we suspected that.
I'm not a deviant.
You prefer to spare a machine rather than accomplish your mission. You saw a living being in this android. You showed empathy.
Did he, though? Is it empathy? Or was it just machine reasoning?
A war is coming.
Oh.
You'll have to choose your side. Will you betray your own people or stand up against your creators?
That is undoubtedly true.
What can be worse than having to choose between two evils?
Let's get out of here.
He seems to be taking an inordinate amount of satisfaction in having engineered and created this situation in the first place. I don't like you, Elijah
I always
Kamsky.
leave an emergency exit in my programs. You never know.
Okay, so there's some sort of backdoor in the programming? Oh, he's a thoroughly nasty piece of work.
Shoot.
Oh, don't you
I
start.
just saw that girl's eyes, and I couldn't. That's all.
You're always saying you would do anything to accomplish your mission. That was our chance to learn something, and you let it go.
Yeah, I know what I should have done. I told you I couldn't. I'm sorry, okay?
No.
Well, maybe you did the right thing.
Yeah, you haven't disappointed Hank at all. Look, he likes it. I'm going to shift my thing over the other side. That was a Hank approval. Hank liked that response. That was a very interesting situation. Yeah, we've met Kamsky. Oh, yeah, we've met Kamsky. Oh, look, Hank thought Connor made the right decision, but there was an entirely different branch from there where he shot Chloe. And I presume Kamsky then did go on to tell him something. But here's the interesting thing. That Chloe wasn't a free android, was she? And still Connor wouldn't shoot her. To Connor, I think he thoroughly recognises that all androids are thinking beings. It's just that some of them have free will and some don't. Was he demonstrating free will there? He certainly made a choice, but was it free will? He was forced into that situation. And surely when you're forced into a situation, that removes the option of free will, and you're actually channeled into choosing between the devil and a dark place. And that's what he did, wasn't it? He wanted the information, but he did not want it at the expense of killing a Chloe. Maybe he thought to himself, you know, Kamsky's playing games with me here. I'm going to not give him the satisfaction of thinking he's won anything. And there was no guarantee Kamsky would have told him anything of great use anyway. He could have spoken to him in riddles. He could have said to him, you know, some completely inconsequential, useless, irrelevant piece of data, information. It might be something Connor had already worked out or surmised or knew, or he'd learned from Amanda, or anything of that sort. You did the right thing there, Connor, and I think Hank really appreciated it. I think you've got to come to terms with the fact you're a deviant. I don't like Kamsky. I think he could be trouble. I hope we meet again, because I wanted to see him get his comeuppance. Hello, Markus. Someone's left another random copy of Detroit Today here in this abandoned building. All right, Android riot. Detroit neighborhoods vandalized by psychotic machines. Really? Psychotic? A number of Detroit neighborhoods were brutally vandalized last night, with CyberLife stores broken into and the entire stock of androids stolen. But it wasn't everyday criminality. The perpetrators are thought to be androids. though the police have yet to issue an official statement. Leaked CCTV footage from the surrounding area shows a number of androids emerging from manhole covers and smashing store windows. This we know, we were there. The worst incident was in Capitol Park, where police attended the scene and were confronted by androids behaving violently. That's not true, is it? Officers had no choice but to open fire on the malfunctioning machines, which are thought to be suffering from some kind of behavioural bug. An eyewitness, who asked to remain anonymous, said, "I was personally attacked by the ringleader. It threatened me with a knife. I was so terrified." Well, that's not true either. Of course, this allegation remains unconfirmed, but we have no reason to disbelieve a human witness as to the behaviour of a deranged machine. Some are already connecting this issue to the recent attack on Detroit's Stratford Tower, again executed by androids. This may be the beginning of a disturbing and perplexing pattern. And this is exactly what I was saying, isn't it? The media spin on this is the thing. That's not going to please Markus at all. And the Eastern Space Race, Russia and China's androids face off. And VEMMORPG reaches 1 billion users. This is not good. What are we doing up here? There's an upright piano. There's something over there. I'm going to go to the something over there first. What are you? Take it. It is a shard of mirror. That's you, Markus. Okay, let's put it back. I guess androids don't spend too long looking into mirrors, do they? Kara did it a couple of times. As if she was sort of assessing herself. We're going to play the piano. I hope this music's okay for us to hear. We shall find out. Oh! Oh. I've got to keep using the pad to make him play, apparently. So I shall bring the pad. Is it helping him think? This is perhaps something he did when he was with Carl. Okay. What's the plan, Markus? Markus, what's the plan? Oh, Markus, where are you going? Very north.
I was wondering where you were.
Think.
I needed to think.
I like it here. I come here often. It's like being alone with the world. We freed hundreds of our people, and they're still coming from all over the city. Those who dream of freedom come to Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Something's changing.
He's not happy, is he?
You seem preoccupied.
Yeah, next step. What do we do now?
I've been thinking about what we should do now. And with everything pulling us towards confrontation, maybe it's not too late for the humans to listen.
All
Let's
the media
hope.
are talking about what we did last night.
Yes.
The humans are terrified.
Oh,
They're afraid of a civil war. Many of our people were burned in response to what happened. The humans hate us. They'll never give us our freedom.
let's be optimistic. Let's be determined.
If they won't listen, we'll fight.
You haven't
no,
said much
no.
about yourself since you've been with us. What was your life like before Jericho?
Pretty good, actually. Let's tell her the truth.
I was caring for an old man. He was like a father to me. He showed me that humans and androids can live together.
Yes, he did. Yeah, let's find out about you, North. I've been wondering about this for a while.
What about
Speak.
you?
Speak.
You never told me about your past. What did you do before?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we want you to talk about it. Let's go trust.
North, we're fighting together. We have to know things about each other to trust each other.
Yeah, we do. Come on, come on. I am so curious. Let's do understanding.
We all have something we want to forget. But you need to know where you come from to know who you are.
I want to know where you came from, North. Come on.
I was nothing.
Ooh.
A doll in a distributor program to satisfy humans. Just a toy designed for their pleasure.
Wait a minute.
One day I was with a man who rented me.
Not the Eden Club.
Without knowing why, I realized I couldn't take it anymore.
Oh
I
my
strangled
god.
him and I ran away. There, now you know everything.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't have told you.
Oh no, I'm glad you did. I didn't see that coming. Oh, he's doing the Amanda thing and sharing data. Whoa. I mean, the Lucy thing.
Your
Amanda.
memories.
Yes.
Carl's house. When they left you for dead in his studio.
I saw your memories too. The Eden Club.
Yes.
The death of that man. I felt like I was there with you.
Well, that should have brought you closer together.
North.
No. She can't deal with the thought of someone else knowing about that, can she, at the moment? Especially not you, my friend. Poor old Markus. What? How? How are you even here? How did you survive? Is this the Simon? Oh, crikey, game. Oh, this is it. I've been blindsided about 5 ways from Sunday there. Oh, they don't look like trouble at all, do they?
Suicide. We'll all be killed. Please, Markus. It's not too late to change your mind.
You don't understand. We're finally gonna show them who we really are. This place will go down in history.
We'll be killed on the spot.
That's a risk I'm prepared to take if it means freedom for our people.
What on earth?
Please don't do this.
They'll understand. We'll make them understand. This is the only way.
Do you know, the 4 of you standing like that
There are
there
androids here who could join us.
isn't suspicious at
The more we
all.
are, the stronger our message.
Ah. This is why he's recruiting androids, just to swell their numbers. Right, are we standing here all day or shall we move? What's to do? Sending me to that one over there who's mopping the floor. Are we going to free him? We are.
You're free.
Got any more? I'm looking around for androids. It says go to the street, but we've not missed any androids, have we? Are we all got... Oh, no, wait a minute, there's something over there. Excuse me, I'm not really listening to your conversation. I understand you're here. You want some privacy. Is it this one here? Yes.
Come with us.
Oh, she's been to Bellini Paints. Oh, it's counting. Please tell me there isn't a number of converts I've got to get. I could be here till Christmas.
You're awake now.
Yes. interesting, these human snippets of human conversation we're hearing here, suspicious of what's going on and, you know, doubting the government and all this stuff. It's the kind of thing that goes on, isn't it? Here's one over here, waiting to carry this guy's stuff.
You're free now.
Great. Whoa. He's not happy. Go back. I'm going to convince you.
Leave him alone. He's chosen to be free.
Yes, he had. That's. Are you related to Todd? He looked a bit. Do you think he looked a bit like Todd? I don't know. Oh, there's one over there. Come on, we need as many as we can get here. We're going to collect.
You're free.
As many as possible. You could look happier about it. Smashing. Great. Do you know what would be...
I need to block the street.
Right. Why are we blocking the street? Ooh. Why are we blocking the street? Okay, he's converting loads now. Do you know what would be really good? If the ability to convert androids was passed on in some super way to other androids, so it was like a chain reaction and became an exponential thing, so, you know, 1 creates 2, creates 4 and so on. Ooh, you've certainly blocked the street. Let's just check we've not missed any androids behind us. No, we're definitely meant to go this way. And here's our next android. You're free.
You're free.
I love the way he most of the time this is the expression he uses, isn't it? Open manhole cover. Why? What's special about their manhole cover? Oh, is this this is our means of transportation, isn't it? This is how they're infiltrating major areas. I've done that. It's alright. Sorry, I was a bit slow there with the controller. Hello. Please join me. How many more have you got down there? This is like the Great Escape. Where... Convert more androids. Alright, okay. Got it. Oh, I see. I've just got to look at them now to convert them. You're kidding.
You're free now.
Hey, another Kara. Wow. I've literally just got to look at them and send some sort of transmission to them. That's an evolution, isn't it? I think we're going this way. March. It's a peace march. It's a peaceful protest. Am I supposed to be converting any more androids? What did that say? Show me again what that said. 38 plus 1. 38's not many. Oh, some more over there. Come on, you lot. Come to us. We're over here. Stop renovating. I love the ethereal background here. And you too. Android over there. Come on. Oh, they're falling out of the woodwork now. Oh, this is a great mechanic. This is so clever because it was going to take 1,000 years, wasn't it, to physically touch all these androids. Have we missed any? Yeah, there was one behind us there. I'm not sure I can get you anymore. Oh. And the Detroit Police Department is aware of the gathering of androids. One can expect a response, I suspect. Oh, this music's superb. This background sound. I'm hoping, as I say, I can allow it to remain in the video. This is very atmospheric, isn't it? The streets are not exactly busy, but the humans who are there are well aware, look, and they're starting to gather on the periphery. They can sense something's happening here. Something momentous is about to go down. Let's L2 the screen. What are we gonna do? We're gonna hack the screen. There's our symbol. Oh, all the screens. Wow. I love the slow pace that Markus is proceeding at here. We've got 125 androids behind us. Let's make it 126. Let's make it 127. I can change camera angle too so we can watch it look from the front. This is great. Come on. Come on.
What the hell are you doing here? Hey! Disperse! Disperse immediately!
Is this a single policeman in front of us? Oh, it is! Well, this was going to happen, wasn't it? Oh, I don't know what's going to happen here. I have no idea. Oh, game. Are you going to give me choices? Oh, no. I'm not prepared for that. Put your hands up, all of you. Show that that's effectively showing. We're not armed. That's not a threatening pose, police officer.
Jesus fucking Christ!
He's going to back off. He's radioing it in.
Patrol 457. I got a lot of androids down here.
You have.
I don't know, hundreds, thousands.
Let's keep walking.
They're marching.
Peacefully.
They're marching down the street.
Peacefully. What shall we shout? We are alive.
We are alive.
Equal rights. No more slavery.
Listen to me.
I'm just changing the slogan occasionally here. Set us free. Oh. Hello. We are unarmed. Well, we've got the police, we've got the army or the police with their heavy response riot thing going on. Oh dear.
We came here to demonstrate peacefully and tell humans that we are living beings. All we want is to live free.
This is an illegal gathering. Disperse immediately or we will open fire.
We're not looking for confrontation. We've done no harm. We have no intention of doing any. But know that we are not going anywhere until we have secured our freedom.
I repeat, this is an illegal gathering. If you do not disperse immediately, we will shoot.
This is not going to go well.
Markus, they're gonna kill us.
I think you're right.
We have to attack.
No.
More of us, we can take them.
No.
If we attack, we'll start a war.
Yes.
We have to show them we're not violent. We should just stand our ground, even if it means dying here.
Dying here won't solve anything. Markus, we need to go now, before it's too late.
Look at this. You've got all the different
This is
viewpoints.
your last chance. Disperse immediately or you will all be killed.
What the heck are we going to do? Stand your ground.
Show them we won't back down. We stay right here.
Okay, North's not happy with that decision.
Disperse! This is your last chance!
We have to make a statement. We have to stay put no matter what.
Please, Markus. We can't let them slaughter us without fighting back.
You're not going to fight. Let's stand a bit longer, at least. They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. Public opinion's going up.
Markus, what are you doing? They're gonna kill us all.
They're not going to kill you all. Let's back off. Run! We've got public opinion. And they're shooting them in the back as they're running away. They're still shooting at them. North's not happy. And Josh isn't happy, but Simon thinks he's done the right thing.
Come on, Markus. We gotta go.
I want to think that was the right thing to do. All of that will have been heard by the media. All of that will have been monitored. They'll have seen it was a peaceful protest. They were provoked tremendously by the humans. Markus fled. Ooh, wow. Look at this whole chunk here that would have happened if we'd charged, if we'd taken them on. Yeah, I bet one of these forks here was Markus is killed. I bet that fork there with two options is Markus leads the charge, Markus is killed, Markus survives or whatever. And then the consequences of what everybody else did next was all in this branch. As it was, Markus fled. Some have lived to give their message another day. The police fire was seen to be unprovoked. And hopefully that's the media, how they will see that too. How can they see that as anything different? Sooner or later, someone's got to give an accurate account. I mean, we've already had accounts from eyewitness humans, which are not reliable and gave a very sort of biased view of what had occurred. I think you did. I think we did the right thing. I think that was the choice to make. I think it was. Hello, Connor.
The FBI is taking over.
What? Well, we're onto something. We just need more time. I'm sure we
Hank, you don't get it. This isn't just another investigation. It's a fucking civil war. It's out of our hands now. We're talking about national security here.
Fuck that. You can't just pull the plug now, not when we're so close.
You're always saying you can't stand androids. Jesus, Hank, make up your mind. I thought you'd be happy about this.
We're about to crack the case. I know we can solve it. For God's sake, Jeffrey, can't you back me up this one time?
There's nothing I can do.
There's a big history going back between these two, isn't there? Oh.
The android returns to cyberlife.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry, Hank, but it's over.
Batman and Robin are splitting up. The Dream Team's dissolved. There's a headline for you, media. Ah. Friendship achieved. Say something, Connor. He never speaks. He never speaks to the police chief. Oh no. Rock bottom.
Your mission is over. It's time to return to cyberlife.
Wait! I can solve this case! I just need more time.
Look at the weather conditions.
You failed.
I am sure that's an AI thing. I'm sure it's not real. Connor. Whoa, this is not good. Oh, not again. Have I killed another Connor? Connor. Series was decommissioned. Oh my God. I've killed Connor. Look, I'm playing this game for real. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to, fiddle this around. If my decisions have got Connor killed, then my decisions have got Connor killed. I don't see what we did wrong. I don't see what we did wrong. Was it because of the way we questioned Kamsky and didn't find anything out from him? Was it because he spared Chloe? Was it something really crucial, evidential that we needed to get from Kamsky? We didn't get it, so we couldn't progress the investigation further. So Hank's gone back to homicide, which means Hank's finished as well. Let's be honest. Because Hank without Connor, Batman without Robin. Oh, thingies. Hey, Cora. We could do with some good news, Cora. Where are we going now? In our auto drive autonomous car. Hey Rose. Hey Luther. Hey Alice. Who's still, let's face it, look at her. She's not perky at all, is she? She's not right. This is nice. This is nice. I'm just out for a drive. Right, okay, let's have a look and see what we're supposed to have noticed here. I can use the media panel. Okay, play it.
With all androids being turned over to the authorities, the country is grinding to a halt. Hospitals and schools are closing, water cuts,
yes,
blackouts, and network failures.
This is what I said.
Maybe most worrying of all, our armed forces have lost 2/3.
2/3?
How about some music instead?
They are, you see, they are dependent on the androids. What do you do without them? They've become so essential to the running of everything. Industry, just society in general. They're part of it now. You can't amputate it in one go and expect no consequences. The weird thing is it's going to affect the humans even more living without androids than it would have done living with them. Alright, well I like the music, but don't get me wrong Rose, I'm not learning anything from listening to the rock band. I'm going to L1.
They've been conducting raids all over the city.
Killing androids.
Everybody's on edge after what happened yesterday. It's gonna be alright. We're almost there.
Do you know, I'm awfully sad. I'm sad about Connor. I know we're on Kara now, but... Oh, thing is... Darn it. I really wanted Connor to survive. Alice, are you alright? You've been through a lot here, haven't you?
A little further on that way, there's a large freighter called Jericho. When you get there, find Markus. He will help you.
You're...
The bus for the border leaves at midnight.
Kidding.
You absolutely have to be on it. You'll be safer on the other side.
It was Jericho all along.
Not much, but it's a start. My brother lives in Ontario. I've given you his address. He'll be able to hide you until things calm down. You're a very brave little girl, Alice. You deserve to be happy.
True.
Thank you for everything, Rose.
Let me know when you make it over there, all right?
You're a good sort.
Take care of them.
I think he will.
Come on, girls. You better not hang around. We have a bus to catch.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go this way. Did you know? It was Jericho all along. It was Jericho that she was going to take them to. Of course it was. It makes perfect sense now. She even knows about, you know, Markus's connection with the actual physical place of Jericho. Oh, I hope the authorities don't know by this stage about Jericho. This snow is fantastic. It's so realistic, it's so authentic. I love the way the flakes near the camera are sort of blurring. Let's go to Jericho. Whoa, this is a bit more organised now.
Dial the number on your screen and the authorities will come to collect your android. Under no circumstances should you try to destroy your android. They are unpredictable and potentially...
We've got to find a warm place for Alice.
That's true, let's find a warm place for Alice. Any suggestions as to a warm place for Alice? Nothing's showing up. I think we're going to have to do a bit of exploring.
They look like just people who want to be free.
Yes, they do.
Following the android crisis and the neutralization of all military androids, American forces in the Arctic have been forced to withdraw, leaving the way clear for the Russian army.
Oh, crikey.
But according to some sources, the Russian forces also seem mysteriously to have withdrawn. The Kremlin has made no comment for the moment, but it is quite possible that the Russian army has been confronted with a similar crisis among its own enemies.
Of course.
The chairman of the United Nations, Douglas Cornwall, has called for the organization of an international conference on the status of the Arctic. In any case, the danger of a third world war seems to have been ruled out for the moment.
A new stage has been reached, demonstrating beyond all doubt that these defective machines have become a real danger.
I'm going to watch this for a little moment.
The time has come for us to destroy our machines
Ooh.
before they destroy us.
Ooh.
Without the courage and the determination of the the machines would have reduced Detroit to a state of chaos.
The authorities have ordered all androids to be delivered to the nearest police station or army barracks immediately. If you are worried about your safety, dial the number on your screen and the authorities will come to collect your android. Under no circumstances should you try to destroy your android yourself. They are unpredictable and potentially violent.
The androids weren't doing any harm. The cops just gunned them down.
Yes.
Sheer carnage. There were androids all over the square. And then the police arrived, and they opened fire. I know they're only machines, but they look like just...
And we've gone round the loop. Yeah. You see, that's interesting, isn't it? The media is still giving something of a negative slant to it themselves. They're reporting the actions of the authorities, which are draconian. Essentially, they're collecting all androids up and destroying them. And then they've got this balance from people who are saying what they've seen. Oh, find a warm place. Right, I'm trying to. Tell me where a warm place is and I'll find it. Oh, I'm still in shock from having done away with Connor. No, it's not in there. And it's not in there. Come on, where is this warm place? Oh look, they're replicating spare parts. 3D printers of some sort. Is this a warm place? Is this a warm place? Here's a warm place. It's got to be a warm place. Yes. Sit down there, Alice. You'll be fine. I've got no cushions and makeshift blankets for you this time.
How do you feel? I'm hot and cold at the same time.
Something's not right. Something's not right. Stand up.
Stay with her. I'll try to find this Markus.
Good idea.
The last bus is in 2 hours. And the terminal's on the other side of town. We haven't got much time.
We'll leave as soon as we have passports.
Kara, there's something I have to tell you. It's about Alice.
Yes.
We'll have lots of time to talk on the bridge. I'll be back.
Those of you who watched the bit at the end of episode 8 where I put out my theory of Kara and Alice, which I will talk about now because it looks like something's going to happen here, will know why I'm looking exasperated there. Oh, I do wish Markus had spilled the beans about what it is he's found out and thinks. Right. Well, I've not found anybody downstairs. Let's go upstairs. It's letting me go upstairs. That's a good sign, isn't it? That's so well animated when she climbs up the stairs. It looks... Is that Markus in there? I think I found you straight away. Markus! Don't look so worried. It wasn't your fault.
Are you Markus?
Yes.
I'm with a little girl and another android. There's a bus leaving for the border in less than 2 hours, and we need passports.
No, Detroit's under curfew. There's soldiers everywhere. They're rounding up all the androids and sending them to camps.
Great.
Maybe
We're
you should
stuck.
stay here a while.
Thanks for the offer. But we won't leave now.
One of our people used to work in the State Department. He has electronic passports he can easily modify. I'll have him get them to you.
Thank you. Please don't tell me I'm going to get Kara, Alice and
Said
Lee.
you're with a little girl, right?
They're killed. Yes.
You know that humans hate us.
This one doesn't.
Why are you protecting
her? Bond.
She needs me. And I need her.
That is undoubtedly true. Generally speaking, I like Kara because she tells it how it is. She doesn't exaggerate. Can we go back now to Luther?
But according to some sources, the Russian forces also seem mysteriously to have withdrawn.
Yes, it's affecting all the androids. Russian, American. Penny dropped, Kara. Do you know, I thought that's what it was. That booklet that she stared at and went when she saw it, and we didn't see what it was. The perfect child, it said. The perfect android child.
You knew from the beginning. You just didn't want to see it. She wanted a mom, and you wanted someone to care for.
Absolutely.
You needed each other. What difference does it make?
None at all.
Do you love her any less now that you know she's one of us? Alice loves you, Kara. She loves you more than anything in the world. She became the little girl you wanted, and you became the mother she needed.
Yes, my theory.
Forgetting who you are to become what someone needs you to be. Maybe that's what it means to be alive.
I mean, you know, you could have twins. Oh, do you know, at least part of my theory was right. I'm so pleased about that. It's just how it needed to be. Yeah, go out the way a minute, Luther. Let mom and daughter have a talk. Come on, Kara. I'm popping myself over that side. Give her a hug.
We'll be together forever, won't we, Kara?
Yes.
This is family. Alice's family. Honestly, I've just changed sides on the screen. I've got to change back. And Luther's family. He likes to see it. Oh. Wow, something's gone right. Jericho admired. However, North is not happy. Simon has doubts. Markus is still Markus.
Blood and biocomponents. Our wounded are shutting down, and there's nothing we can do.
President Warren is saying we're a threat to national security and we need to be exterminated.
Humans are conducting raids in all the big cities, and they're taking androids to camps to destroy them.
It's a disaster. They're slaughtering our people.
It's all our fault. None of this would have happened if we just stayed quiet.
Everyone's doubting you now, Markus. Let's be determined.
All we did was show them who we really are. I don't want war, but I'd rather die free than live as a slave.
You could be looking at the end of everything.
Free, if no one is left alive.
I just said that. Let's have no regrets.
Humans enslaved us. I'll never regret standing up to that.
We shouldn't forget who our enemies are. We can't fight amongst ourselves.
He's right. All that matters now is what we do next. Markus?
Ooh. Go on, he does need to think, be honest. You can't make a snap decision on something like that. It's existential. Let's be thoughtful.
They've been butchering each other for centuries over the color of their skin or whatever god they wanted to worship. They're not gonna change. Violence is just in their genes.
Yes.
They can't stop what we've started.
Where's this going?
Since you've been here, you've given us hope. You've given me hope. Today, a deviant arrived in Jericho and he told me that he stole a truck transporting radioactive cobalt.
Yeah.
He said that he abandoned the truck somewhere in Detroit and rigged it to explode.
A bomb?
I convinced him not to do it. To give me the detonator.
A dirty bomb.
We can't lose this war, Markus. If humans overcome us, our people will disappear forever. This may be our only chance to survive if things go wrong.
Oh, it's going to kill all the humans and not affect the androids. Refuse it.
We shouldn't become like them, North. We can gain our freedom by other means.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right.
I'm channeling North.
Whatever happens tomorrow,
Oh, wow.
I just want you to know that I'm glad I met you.
Clearly. Oh, don't recoil in horror from each other this time. I think they're going to, don't you? It's only right and proper. Well, at least
I'll join the others.
At least you both found happiness before you got chopped into little bits when the humans catch you.
Look after yourself. I don't want to lose you.
Ooh, I hope that's not foreshadowing that she's going to. I really do. I really, really do. So look, I'm keeping an eye on the time. And we're at, what, 56 minutes or something like that. I think that is a sensible place for us to stop. I've killed Connor. I can't believe I've killed Connor. I know Markus's flowchart. Let's have a look at Kara's flowchart. So Kara, we basically got it all right, I think. I don't think it could have gone much better than that. She sees the android child. She joins Alice. She hugs Alice. And that was the point at which I think they got to leave together. If she hadn't hugged Alice, there would have been some consequences. Ooh, there would have been some consequences. Look at the consequences. Will you look at the consequences? What on earth is all that about? If she'd not... This goes on forever. If she hadn't... All of that... Oh no, perhaps not. Maybe this is her future. Maybe I'm seeing too much. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, look, it appears that I've killed Connor. And when I say I've killed Connor, I mean murder, death, kill. Gone. Ceased to exist. No longer with us. Oh. There'll be a post-mortem. There'll be some discussion, no doubt, about what it was I did wrong. I'm not going to dwell on what I did wrong with Connor there, because I did what I did for the best of reasons, and I kind of thought Hank and Connor would pal up even more in the face of adversity from their boss, and maybe have somehow gone off somewhere and become an unofficial crime-fighting duo and solved the case that way. Wasn't to be, was it? Wasn't to be. The good thing about that, I suspect, is that Amanda, who I don't like, she's turned out to be very, very ruthless. She used Connor for her own ends and devices, and when he wasn't useful anymore, she saw that he was got away with. Nasty. Yeah, Amanda didn't get what she was after. So that's the only good thing to come out of the way that finished. Let's have a quick look on Marcus's flowchart. So Marcus stayed alone with his thoughts. Okay, I don't know where this is going to carry on. I mean, I'm stumped now. I don't know how Kara, Luther and Alice are going to get away from Jericho in one piece if the humans really are patrolling outside. Connor we've already talked about, and Marcus, I don't know. I don't know what Marcus does next. Everything seems to have gone wrong. His own people are starting to doubt him and question it and say, what are you going to do? All right, that's where we'll stop. So that was episode 10 of Detroit Become Human. I hate to think what possibly could happen in episode 11. I hope my track record improves, let's put it that way. But I am playing the game, and you know, I'm not, as I said, using any knowledge about it whatsoever. Maybe if I'd had some knowledge about it, I would have taken a different course of action in Connor's existence there, and it might have changed things. I don't know. I hope you join me for episode 11, where anything can happen, as we've just shown. That'll be coming on really soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.